Fish, animals that live in bodies of water like lakes, rivers, and ponds. Sometimes there are floods and fish end up on your sidewalk. Sometimes there are droughts and the fish end up in puddles until they either die or get back to a larger body of water safely. Many people keep pet fish in cups and vases to replicate the situation that happens in the wild, unfortunately. Considering the fact that pet store fish live in cups and cramped spaces together, many consider putting a fish in a slightly larger tank that's still too small for them, quote-unquote rescuing them. For example, a betta fish at PetSmart lives in a cup, ingesting its own poop, sitting there waiting to die in some acidic water until the pet store changes the water or until the betta is bought. And some of these fish, specifically bettas and goldfish, go to a home where an ignorant parent or kid quote-unquote cares for them. They even put them in some bowl, vase, or micro tank where they can barely turn around. Even putting a fake plant in there does no good. It just gives them less space since they need as much space as they can get in this tiny prison. I can imagine some of these tanks don't have filters or heaters either and never get water changes. That's like being forced to live in a locked outhouse without a toilet, getting scrambled eggs to eat every day, but too much of it, so you're sitting in a mixture of urine, feces, and uneaten scrambled eggs. And of course it smells horrible. I guess that's better than the cardboard box you were in before, but still not good. Like, fish are not decorations. They're living, feeling beings that deserve a good life, just like you probably do. I say probably because you never know. I don't know who's behind the screen watching this, but anyways, yes, they can survive in small spaces in the wild, but not really live happily. A good rule of thumb is 1 gallon per inch of fish. Mr. Ignorant watching this video is probably like, oh well, I don't have time for fish. Don't expect me to spend so much time taking care of my fish. Well, maybe you shouldn't have bought fish in the first place if you don't want to take care of them. Also, all you have to do when you want to keep fish properly is get rid of your old 2-gallon tank with your 3 dead goldfish and angelfish that you think is sleeping. Buy a bigger tank, buy the gravel, buy a filter and heater unless you have a kid. Wash the gravel, put the gravel in, put the water in, treat the water, let it all run for a week, put some decorations in, and put the fish in after acclimating them. Simple. Now you only have to feed the fish, clean the tank and algae, keep the water full, clean and fresh, give them new hiding places, preferably live plants because they provide oxygen and they're natural. Maintain your live plants, give them a light, get an automatic fish feeder for vacation, quarantine and treat a sick fish, buy more fish tanks, start watching Serpa design, start watching aquarium info, start watching Fish for Thought, start watching aquarium co-op. See, not that hard, and it's actually rewarding in the long run. Look at what you had before versus now. Just make sure not to fall for the ignorance of most PetSmart workers. Do your research before owning fish or any pet for that matter. And before you question my knowledge, look at my beautiful tank with some Amazon sword plants, Java fern, cryptocorin plant, Java moss, hornwort, and skirt tetras corridors, and that one poor auto cyclist that lost his fragile siblings. And look at Samir. Yes, his name is Samir. He's a betta in a 6-gallon tank all by himself, like any male betta should be. As their solitary fish, they would rather not have other bettas in their space. Their name is literally Siamese fighting fish. Beautiful. Ignore the P water though, it's just the driftwood doing that. But look at him versus now. Please don't abuse fish for Samir, for him. Just look at him. Just look at him. Do me a favor, look for a fish store, a local fish store that's not a chain in your area or near you. Many fish stores have higher quality supplies and fish, and the supplies that they also have at the regular chain stores are like the same price, but people at local fish stores are generally more knowledgeable than the chain stores, so something to consider. Also, another thing to consider is hitting the like button, or tapping it or clicking it, whatever you prefer, because that lets me know if you enjoyed the video.